Buddy, my name is Agent Psycho, and we're gonna get started on the 57th chapter of the Exploring the Arsenal series, featuring me, Agent Psycho, aka Toast number 98. This time, we're gonna be taking a look at the first weapon of the M3 Super90 family, called the Benelli M3 Super90. It is apparently an Italian shotgun, according to Combat Wiki, and it is around, but I'm gonna tell you guys that it's kind of an underpowered shotgun. To be completely honest with you guys, it's okay, but it's definitely not the best pump action shotgun. You can definitely do a lot better with the standard M590 M590 military shotgun. That shotgun is far superior to the M3 Super90. But let's get it. Before I make any more of my own personal opinions on the M3 Super90, let's get to the statistics first. So a little bit of background information on the M3 Super90. It did cost 1,000 GP a day, but because obviously there's no more one-day sales. For a week, it does cost 4,900 GP, and it is unlocked at Command Sergeant Major 4. Now, looking at the statistics, the M3 Super90, according to the Command's Wiki, has a damage rating of 80. Now, this is very high. Maybe the M590 military has lower damage. I think it had like 75 or something. I don't know. But this damage rating is quite misleading. It has nowhere near the damage profile of the M590 military. I'm just gonna tell you guys right now, compared to the M590 military, the M3 Super90 pales very much so in comparison in terms of straight up damage. I think the reason why Combat Arms gave this more damage, technically speaking, than the M590 military is because of the fact that it has a longer range. That's for sure. I believe that the M3 Super90 does have a longer range than the M590 military, but range alone isn't gonna cut it. You know, I mean, if you're not gonna even kill your enemy, why even bother having a long range? You know, I mean, you might be able to headshot them, but if you're someone like me who hardly gets a headshot, hardly gets headshots, or straight up lottos even with a shotgun, then that's not really going to count for much, is it now? So the damage, I would classify more like 70, to be honest, because the M590 military is a lot more powerful than the M3 Super 90. I have no idea why the M3 Super 90 has an 80 damage rating, but just letting you guys know that the M3 Super 90 is not as strong as they say it is. Probably got nerfed. We'll have to. That's up to you guys to think. But I'm here to tell you that the M3 Super90 is not as powerful as you might think it is. The damage drop-off. The damage drop-off is pretty severe as well. I mean, all shotguns, inevitably, they have severe damage drop-offs because they don't have infinite range, or they basically don't have a lot of range because, you know, obviously they're shotguns, and the pellets will disappear over range. However, the M3 Super90's damage drop-off within its effective range anyway seems pretty bad. The M590 military has decent damage drop-off because it has so much base damage to begin with. The M3 Super90 doesn't have a lot of base damage to begin with, and coupled with the fact that it doesn't have a very good base damage. I don't know. But anyways, all I'm trying to tell you guys is that the damage drop-off is pretty bad due to the fact that it has a pretty bad starting damage. So there you go. Portability-wise, it has a 67 portability, so you may feel that it's a little bit slow, but I mean, it is faster than most of your assault rifles anyway, and you can definitely run around with it. I mean, it is a shotgun. You're supposed to use it for close quarters. Rate of fire is at a 17, so this clocks it in, or its rate of fire clocks in the same as the Keltec KSG 12 and the M590 military as well. I think the military also has a similar rate of fire as well. I can't remember, but they do feel like they fire at the same rate or something like that. But anyways, there's a rate of fire. Accuracy. As some of you guys may know, Combat Arms does not provide accuracy statistics for shotguns, but I do. And for what I mean by accuracy for shotguns is that basically what I mean by accuracy on shotguns is that I'm talking about where the bullets or the pellets per shell go within your spread. So if you guys didn't know, all shotguns in Combat Arms fire pellets instead of, you know, slugs. I think Battlefield is the only FPS that actually features shotguns that fire shells, but that's another story. Or slugs rather, not shells. But anyways, all shotguns in Combat Arms fire shells, and those shells contain anywhere from 6 made to up to 11 pellets. The 11 being the maxes, but I think they nerfed the maxes too. I think it only fires 9 last time I checked. But anyways, the M3 Super90 fires around 8 to 9 pellets. I think it's 8. I think I've seen 9 before, but I'm pretty sure it's 8. Anyways, so the M3 Super90, it fires around 8 to 9 pellets per shell, and its accuracy for those pellets, the pellets seem to spread out like randomly. You basically cannot predict the pellet spread of the M3 Super 90. Hence, that is why I think the accuracy on the M3 Super 90 is pretty batshit terrible, because of the simple fact that you can't predict where the pellets go. Some shotguns, like the Remington 870, you can easily predict, because you know where they're gonna go. For me, they tend to cluster towards the middle, and the M590 military, even though the pellet spreads are kind of more spread out, at least they're at least more predictable, and because they have so much base damage anyway, it's not like it really matters too much as long as some pellets hit. But the M3 Super 90, you kind of need all the pellets to hit because it has such low damage to begin with. I mean, it's taking me up to like I don't know, 4 or 5 shells to take out someone from like medium range. I mean, sure, the range would have been quite long to some of you guys, but I mean, with the M590, he would have been down at most 3 shells. That's all you need, and he'll go down. The M3 Super 90, you will probably need a lot more shells than that. So the accuracy is probably not the best thing about the M3 Super 90. The recoil on the M3 Super 90 is at a 61, but then again, because it is a pump action shotgun, recoil really doesn't matter. In any case, the recoil kickback isn't really affected at all, or the recoil kickback shouldn't really affect your aim at all. So there you go. Let's see. Anything else about the recoil? Overall, I mean, because the M3 Super 90 is just like an ordinary shotgun, because most shotguns and combat arms, the spreads do not change no matter what kind of position you're in, whether you be crouching, you be walking, you be standing, you be sprinting, the spread will not change until you fire a shot. And even then, the center speed is just way too fast for your spread to be able to really, have any change to the your spread on the M3 Super 90 isn't really gonna matter, because it'll just snap back into place like immediately. So it's like whatever, dude. Let's see. Sprint drawback. The sprint drawback is pretty fast. I mean, it is a shotgun. You need to be able to pull it up right away at close quarters, because I mean, where else are you gonna use an M3 Super 90 or any other shotgun for that matter? What's next here? The Tapfire Ability. I mean, it's a shotgun, so why even bother? Let's see. Sprint drawback. Let's see, draw speed. The draw speed is, I believe the M3 Super 90 has a completely silent draw speed, or draw animation, so that's pretty interesting. And the draw speed is quite moderate. I mean, I don't think it's much faster than the others, if at all. Let's see, center speed, we've already talked about that. Reload speed. The reload speed is pretty moderate. It reloads pretty much at the same speed as your Keltec KSG or your M590 military, so nothing basically to worry about there. Let's see, fire modes. It is a pump action shotgun, so you're gonna have to be firing each shell one at a time. Click, 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 clicky. Luck, it's actually on the lower side of things for shotguns anyway, because of the fact that I just told you guys the accuracy on the M3 Super 90 is quite unpredictable. So even if you aim for the head on your enemies, you might not get a headshot all the time, just because of how the pellets behave on the M3 Super 90. So yeah, luck on this thing is not so good, in my opinion anyway. Ammo capacity. The ammo capacity on the M3 Super 90 is pretty healthy at 7 rounds per barrel, and 21 shells in reserve. And do note that, actually, I haven't really talked about the reload speed at all either. The reload speed on the M3 Super 90, wait, I did. What the fuck am I talking about? But just keep in mind that the reload animation for the M3 Super 90 is like most other pump action shotguns, where you do insert the shells one by one into the tube, so you can definitely run around run and gun with the M3 Super 90 while constantly feeding in shells into your M3 Super 90, which is always a good idea, Let's see what's next here. I gotta consult my little notepad of things I like to talk about on my reviews. Next, moving on to key physical characteristics. The M3 Super 90, I mean, it kind of looks like a Remington 870 MCS, to be honest. It does kind of look like it. It's got a pretty similarly looking buttstock, like a fixed buttstock. The barrel seems pretty similar. I mean, you can definitely see that. You can see a resemblance between the M3 Super 90 and the the Remington Remington R870 MCS. So there is, you can tell that they look different, especially in the kill feed. But just looking at their pictures in the Comrades wiki, the only way you can tell that they're different is the fact that the R870 MCS has like a really pronounced pump mechanism, and the M3 Super90's barrel, the upper barrel of the M3 Super90, is a little bit longer than the under barrel, whereas on the Remington 870 MCS, I think both barrels are pretty much the same length. Anyways, let's see, moving on here. The next thing I want to talk about is the muzzle noise. So the muzzle noise on the M3 Super90 is actually quite unique. It's actually, I don't really want to say it's unique. I think it sounds like it reminds me a lot of the Keltec KSG. Oops, I accidentally clicked on that. It reminds me a lot of the Keltec KSG in its firing noise. I don't know if they're the exact same, but they do seem pretty similar. So there you go. Moving on to the, what do I also need to talk about here? The attachment options. As with most other shotguns, you can only attach magazine modifications to it. So you know, what is it? Magazine extenders, or magazine, what is it? The fast loader mags, whatever you fancy, you can put it on there. However, I don't really recommend any magazine modifications at all, because if you cut down your magazine size or your barrel size, then you're kind of hurting yourself, because you need as many shells as you can. However, if you put in an extended mag 2, then your reload speed will get really slow. And I mean, it's pretty slow if you think about it to begin with on something like the M3 Super90, where you need to constantly feed shells into your gun as soon as you get, as soon as you start getting on your little kill streak of yours, if you assume that you actually do get on one. But anyways, fire team worthy? Nah. I mean, most shotguns aren't really fire team worthy to begin with. Maybe for human NPC game types, but even then, you might as well find some other better shotgun. Quarantine worthy? I don't know. I don't know. I've never really tried shotguns on quarantine, except for, like, obviously the Max's R870 MCS mod. But I don't know. Some of you guys may be experts on using shotguns in quarantine, but that's up to you guys, and I'm not gonna go there because I know I'll offend somebody. I know for a fact I've offended somebody else by saying, like, all shotguns suck in quarantine. I gotten some shit for that. So yeah, that's up to you guys. Personally speaking, though, I don't really see why you would bring the M3 Super90 to quarantine, but I mean, whatever floats your boat, right? As for my frank personal opinions on the M3 Super90, the M3 Super90 is terribly underpowered. I really do wish that the M3 Super90 had some sort of buff to it, because most pump action shotguns are pretty strong. I mean, for God's sake, I would rather take the R870, just our standard GP R870, over the M3 Super90, because at least even the R870 has a better damage profile than does the M3 Super90. I mean, I remember back in the day when it was first released, that was actually pretty good. But I don't know. I think Nexon nerfed it or something like that, and I wouldn't be surprised if they did. So that now it just feels like it just takes a lot more shells to put someone down. So yeah, I mean, do check it out. I mean, you may end up liking it, but just be warned that if I can't, I'm not trying to say I'm supposed to be some sort of role model here, but I'll just let you guys know that as a semi-avid user of shotguns, I mean, I am a shotgun fan, but I'm usually sticking with like the OP shotguns like Max's or whatever it is, because I'm an NX whore and whatnot. But I'm just gonna let you guys know right now, you will probably be disappointed with the M3 Super90. It probably won't do enough justice for you, but hopefully you guys will be able to figure out a way to use M3 Super90 effectively. I mean, I've tried, and I've gotten good games with the M3 Super90. Don't worry, don't get me wrong, but it's not very fun to use, and it's very tiring. It feels like you're actually working to get your kills, even though you're playing a video game. But yeah, anyways, guys, thank you very much for watching. This has been my review on the M3 Super90. Hopefully you guys don't flame me for it, in case some of you guys actually do like the M3 Super90 a lot. But anyways, the next review will be on the very infamous M4 Super90, and that gun, let me tell you one thing, it's overpowered. Well, kind of. Anyways, thank you guys very much for watching, and look forward to the next review. I'm sure lots of you will. You could hit the net. Can't forget that.